teaches, now underscore this is what started, the resurrection. Now the cross and the resurrection. 4 things separate Christianity from all the world's religions. The absolute creation of the universe by the Creator. The incarnation of that Creator in the person of Jesus of Nazareth in time-space world. The resurrection from the dead and His return when He determines to return. I do not talk about the second coming because He's had lots of coming. I talk about His final return. And that's all the opportunity that people will have. Seemed to be a proclaimer of strange deities. Now put that down. Now why were they thought deities? Because they had deities coming out of their ears. They weren't atheists. And He took him and brought him to the Areopagus. I can imagine they strong-armed him and brought him to the Areopagus saying, may we know what this new teaching is in which you're proclaiming? This new teaching, what new teaching? See, there's no place for resurrection of the individual entity in Greek reincarnationism. That's incarnation into the one, in the Om. But the biblical doctrine of creation is not reincarnationism, because reincarnationism has nothing to do with the reincarnation of every body in every cemetery, in every ocean belly, and that's ever just dying won't get us away from this God. That's not our greatest enemy. Now all the Athenians, that sounds like a preaching report, you know. The practically 1,000. Well, be more practical. Well, 300. Now all the Athenians and the strangers visiting there were used to spend their time in nothing other than telling of things. Now this is not true. Why isn't true? English, I suppose your Bible says new things. That isn't what it says. It's a comparative newer and newer. Anything new, be here. That's not going to be unaudible. It wasn't just saying it's a new thing in comparison. It was saying, any new thing, we just hear that. We're the philosophers. And what we think about is new things. We've got to roll with fads. Faded into the fadism. But while I was passing through and examining, now notice this is a characteristic of a witness. Examining. That's just preparation. That's not all that needs to be done, but that's absolutely imperative. Examining the objects of your worship. Now, he didn't say you're Harvard atheists. They've been to divinity school and gave up God for Lent. But you worship deities. Now, notice plural. The biblical God is not one of the deities. In Greco-Roman deity sphere or Semitic deities, the gods were in conflict for what? You know that. They were in conflict for their comfort zone. That's not the God that's here. You lose the God of creation. There's no point talking about dead men walking. There's no point talking about walking on the water. There's no point talking about virgins having babies. There's no point talking about the return of the Creator of the universe to judge the world. That makes no sense whatsoever. But as the Creator of God, a highly complex world, He can do that just by speaking it. I suppose He can do it. I'm assuming that. See, proof is a mathematical term. I hesitate to talk frequently about proof. And I would encourage others also to do that. Now, Paul stood in their midst and said, Men of Athens, I observe that you're very religious. Now, there are 3 Greek words that could be translated religious. You really want to know that. 3 Greek words. This is the most ambiguous word that he could have used. Well, why? Because he didn't directly insult the audience, nor was he affirming the audience. You talk about brilliance, you talk about inspiration. And that man wasn't. See, they didn't know who that was. He's going to turn that world loose. You're very religious. Well, they heard that word because they knew the other two Greek words. But he is an ambiguous word. Not because he was seeker-friendly, because he didn't want to just insult the audience before he got started. See, I would do that to you, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. The object of your worship, now notice he said it, you're good what? Worshiping. We have a cafeteria of spirituality and worship. Styles, you know this stuff. What's those style businesses? But I'm for one to recover God at the heart of worship and not the audience. If I wanted to entertain people, I'd be in Hollywood and $1,000 an hour for talking to people. See, we do audience analysis, see that we don't offend anybody. You can't preach Jesus. They crucified him because he offended them. Now, it wasn't because he hated them. I just go around trying to offend everybody I can think of. He didn't do that. You know that. The object of your worship, I found an altar with this inscription to an unknown. Now, it's trivial, but there is an archaeological find. So the skeptic. Now, anything that's not proven, they're skeptical. And I'm skeptical about their skepticism. But they got to believe in it once they found it. See, but everything that they're skeptical of doesn't have access to evidence or justification. To an unknown God. Now, what? Notice what? He didn't say why. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. He didn't say who you worship. He's Darth Vader, he's the Force. What? You worship? Oh, this is not nice. He was nice for a minute. Now, agnosko, our word, what does that mean? Agnosko. Agnostic. He said, what you don't know, I want to tell you about it. But if there's ever an audience that didn't want to hear somebody tell them that they didn't know about it, then that audience. This I proclaim. He preached. You've got to get the attention of an audience, but if you don't preach, you're not delivering Christ. You only have it trying to win friends and influence people. The God who made the world and all things in it. Two simple things. Now, all this can't be unpacked because it's time for you to go to bed. Now, don't snore and bother him if you have to go to sleep. Call your mom. Now, in Greek thought, there was only what? In Stoic and Epicurean pantheism, there was only the cosmos. Right here before your eyes, and not even a complete sentence, even in English. He has attacked their worldview. He says the cosmos and what? And all tapanta, all the things. He didn't identify things with the universe. The universe is one thing, the things in it is another thing. But that seems so simple, but he's attacking their worldview right before our very eyes. And until we get to the ground of the discussion, there's no point talking with most people, in my estimation. I have found this unknown God, and then underscore ignorance, and I proclaim. And this is a present tense. I keep on proclaiming. The God who made the world and all things. It seems very simple. They're not even complete any sentence. But he's attacked their whole pantheistic worldview. Since the Lord of heaven. Now, if you know anything about their pantheon, did they have a Lord of heaven? Boy, he's talking over their heads. I used to talk over people's heads and said, that's nice, but he's talking about head. I said, change where your head is. I said, I'm too old to keep reinventing the wheel. Lord of heaven and earth, put that down. The earth is that microdot on that golf ball. Creation is enormous. And creation is dissipating. It is not self-replicating. astrophysics. Well, if that's true in the astrophysics equations, and I got people that would tell you that it is, I'm not an astrophysicist, but I can follow their equations. That's life or death from the Christian viewpoint. That's where we get the foundation of discussion. I don't need the loss of foundation in Descartes or the Enlightenment. I have it in the creation of the universe, which is the only non-idol there is.